We could also have, for example, yeah. So I've been talking a lot about tables. Why don't we actually talk about how to format a table? So again, if you want to, let's do the investigative approach. If I tell you, I want you to find me some commandlet that works with tables, what would you do? What would be the first thing that you do? If you never heard, if I had never told you about like formatting and stuff like that, how would you look this up? Help table. Yeah, let's look that up. There we go. Tons of different commandlets. These make it kind of hard though. So why don't we look up format? That's a little shorter. So now we're kind of looking for the right thing. So we can see inside of here we have format list and format table. And there's also format wide. And I'm going to talk about these three today. So we have formats the output as a list of properties in which each property appears on a new line. Formats the output as a table. And formats the objects as a wide table that displays only one property of each object. This is kind of a mix of the two. But yeah, that's like you said, Scott, that's way too much information. That you're never going to find anything. So again, look for keywords. If there's too many, you can always do another search. Again, in the exam, if you're looking around for stuff, you do have 80 minutes. You have until 6:20. Yeah, 6:20. So 5 until 6:20. So you have 80 minutes. So you get lots of time to search again if you need to. So let's start off right off the bat with tables. So why don't we look at format help, format table. So here we go. Simple synopsis formats the output as a table. It takes a whole bunch of stuff. I'm only going to go through some of these, but there are some other ones that you can totally go for. Again, remember you can go down here for examples. You can go and get a detailed output, and you can get the full output. So if we want to see everything, we could actually just run this. And this gives us everything from the help. So for example, force, expand, display error, all this stuff, like it gives us everything. So if you're sitting there and you're really confused on the exam, I'm not getting enough information from the help, don't forget that at the very bottom you can look it up. Just remember you can't use the internet and you can't use the ISEs. All right, so if you actually go through, and for example, let's say I wanted to use format table. Though there's a whole bunch of different kind of properties that we care about inside a format table. Probably the main one, I'm just going to show you a couple of demos. Let's go through and do get WMI object win32 underscore BIOS. And we can actually pipe this into format table. I'm going to run that. Looks all right. What we can actually provide to this is what's called auto size. What this will do is that depending on how big the screen is, it'll actually cut off the end of it. So you can see that without auto size, or sorry, let's see what it looks like without auto size. Oh, again, it's not very long. But this would actually, the auto size property here would actually auto resize some of these columns here, depending on how big the window is and stuff like that. Again, you can look at this in the help menu. We also have different, again, we have a whole bunch of properties that parameters that we can pass in here. But we can also pass properties into the, actual format table here. So if we go through, we can say, okay, for example, let's do get process. We get format table. Let's say property, and let's do just ID and name. So again, that's actually just going to go through and it's going to nicely format our table so that we only have the ID and the name values. So I saw someone actually solve one of the problems from the previous assignment using format table. The only problem is that when you output this, if we actually put this into, I am forgetting off the top of my head, GM. We can see that this is no longer the actual process object. So as soon as you run through format table, you lose kind of track of what the object is. So if you're trying to do anything else, like for example, if you're trying to play with this, And other than outputting it, I wouldn't use this command. So this is just useful if you're just trying to just like limit the display of information.